How's it going, y'all? Rowdy Riles back with another video. As you can see, we've got some Spider-Man in front of us, and they're all classic red and blue Spideys, and Spider-Man's my favorite character, so of course I have a bunch of different versions, but we all know what our favorite is and what the best one is in our opinion and all that stuff, but I just wanted to talk about, like, why I have them the way that I do and which one I think is best, which you all know my opinion. You know that Maximum Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man in my opinion, just for scaling, proportions, all that stuff. But the Amazing Fantasy body is great. It also works. The Renew Your Vows, if you put the right head sculpt on it, it brings the size down a little, because the other thing about that Renew Your Vows figure is the head is huge. I don't like the head that it comes with. It's not on any of these figures. We've got the retro card with one of the alternate heads. He has the Ben Reilly retro card head on because the red matches perfectly. I put the Beyond Suit Ben Reilly head on my Amazing Fantasy because I wanted an alternate Spider-Man, or Ultimate Spider-Man, and the Ultimate Spider-Man that we have is old, on a pinned body, doesn't have butterfly joints, and I think that it being just ever so slightly shorter than the Maximum Buck and putting that big head with the humongous eyes on it, it's a perfect Ultimate Spider-Man. I don't know what the spider symbol looks like in that comic run, I don't remember, but I could find a picture if I wanted to. And then of course you have the Odd Man Out, the Renew Your Vows, which is essentially Hasbro making a body mold using Spider-Man as an excuse so that they have more body molds to use for more acceptable figures or more appropriate figures for that mold, like Daredevil and Deadpool, both of which are over 6 foot, like 6 foot I think is Daredevil, and then 6'2" is Deadpool. So Spider-Man should be shorter. The Renew Your Vows is too big, and that's something I've stated over and over and over again. But if you put the Maximum head sculpt on it, they're still slightly bigger. You can see he's about, I don't know, 1/3 of an inch taller, which it's negligible at that point. So if you swap the Maximum head sculpt on the Renew Your Vows, it's really not that bad. But so this one goes on my regular Spider-Man shelf, like my Spider-Verse shelf. Renew Your Vows is right there because this is the ideal perfect Spider-Man against every other Marvel Legend, as far as I can tell, the ones that I have, accuracy and all that stuff. Maximum Spider-Man goes on my Avengers, Defenders, whatever. My main Marvel comic book shelf. Ultimate Spider-Man also goes on my Spider-Verse shelf because we have Miles, which, you know what, I may as well grab him down just to show y'all what I mean. Because, you know, Ultimate Spider-Man is still a teenager. Like, yeah, he got older, but he's still a teenager in the original comic, not now. But Miles, and Petey is like 16, 17. Miles was like 13, 14. So if he wants to stand up, if you put this Miles next to any of these Spider-Man, he works. But specifically with that Ultimate Spider-Man, he's just got the right perfect height on Miles to be Ultimate. So that's why I have that head on there. I got rid of the figure and kept the head sculpt because that's what I do sometimes. I'm like, here, let me put this in a lot. And if someone wants that body, they can have it. But I'm keeping the head sculpt. And I'll just keep Miles over here just because. But for me, the Maximum Spider-Man obviously is the best of both worlds. Best, you could make him Ultimate with that if you wanted to. And the colors in the spider probably match better. But this is a perfect Spider-Man for me. So he's going to go on my Avenger shelf. And I noticed a problem. I only have one paint issue on my Maximum Spider-Man. Let me know if you see it. It's the leg on the right, the far right. There's a little bit missing right there. And I don't know if I rubbed it off or it came that way, but I noticed it. And now it bothers me. So I'm going to have to find a black micro pen and fix that. Like a very, very, very micro pen and fix that. But I have the Romita style. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's the Romita styled head on my Maximum Spidey. And it does add a little bit more height to him, which is not ideal, but he's still short enough next to, say, well, I'd have to zoom out. So yeah, this is, my references are like Captain America, and this is Bucky as Captain America, who I believe is probably slightly taller than Steve, and Steve is like 6'2", so he may be a little bit too tall with this head sculpt, but it's negligible at this point. And you put the Renew Your Vows next to him, and then with those, oh my goodness, with those thicker feet and all that stuff, I'm just knocking everything over, aren't I? It adds a little bit more height on him as well. Oh my goodness. That's what editing is for, y'all. And also, I'm recording this while I'm live streaming to members, so yeah, if you're watching this live, I apologize. You know, it actually looks like head sculpt makes a big difference when it comes to Marvel Legends, and a lot of the time their head sculpts are way too big. Like, they'll give, shout out to the train, okay, they're close enough to the same height, but for me, the Maximum Spider-Man is leaner. It's not as ripped, it's not as bulky, and Spider-Man has like a gymnast or runner's body. He's not a bodybuilder, he's not yoked out of his mind. He is just a skinny ripped 5'10" and very flexible. And if you've got a lot of muscle, I don't know if you know this, but bodybuilders are not the most flexible people. So when it comes to that, the Maximum Spider-Man is definitely better. And then you can, oh, no, editing is your friend. And when it comes to, you know, like the Amazing Fantasy or Amazing Friends, Amazing Fantasy body, he's a lot shorter. And now, before we had the Maximum and we only had the Renew Your Vows and the Amazing Friends, perfect. But because he is still a lot shorter, then here, we'll do this. We're gonna fix the height problem here on these figures really quick. All right, so now Renew Your Vows has the taller, whoa, it's very loose on him. The taller Vermita styled head, and then we're going to put the Maximum head sculpt back onto Maximum Spider-Man. There we go. Now you can really see what I'm talking about. The Maximum is slightly taller than the Amazing Friends, and then the Renew Your Vows is just ever so slightly taller than both of them. And then you bring in the Retro, and he's taller than all of them. And, right? Am I wrong in that? No, he's about the same as Renew Your Vows, which makes sense because they're on the same body. What I'm getting at is here, like, it doesn't matter which Spider-Man you want for your display. Like, there's the scaling and all that stuff, that's for sticklers. For me, I'm a big, oh, we need the right height, we need all that kind of stuff. Not everyone's like that. And you know, you may want this head sculpt on the Maximum. You may want the Ditko or the Romita head on the Amazing Friends body, and that's fine. I just think that, in my opinion, the Renew Your Vows as it comes out of the box, I'm gonna have to censor that for one, and for another, let me just get, here's my Spider-Man stuff. I'm just gonna grab that Renew Your Vows head because I want y'all to see what I mean, and I'm not crazy, because the head sculpt makes him so much taller, even than the other one. So let's arrange them by height. Amazing Friends, Maximum, Renew Your Vows. Now you can kind of see better what I'm talking about when it comes to the height. He's just got that much more height. He's six inches tall. All right, let me see. Over 6 inches tall. He's 6 1/4. He is about 6 1/3. I don't know. It's negligible, but it's noticeable next to, say, Captain America or Wolverine or whatever, because Wolverine is 5'3", and all the Wolverines that we have so far from Marvel Legends are too big. So it's just one of those things where I'm hoping that the one that's coming out with that 2-pack with Silver Samurai is slightly shorter. I'm hoping they fixed the torso by taking out. I know they added upper bald peg torso, and they have. Do they have lower ab crunch? I'm not sure. I'd have to relook at it. But I'm hoping that they fix the height, because Wolverine is 5'3", which he's too tall in the Marvel Legends that we have. The older ones were slightly smaller, and the newer ones have that scale creep. But when, I don't know. I'm probably just rambling at this point. What I'm trying to say is, my favorite Spider-Man is the Maximum Spider-Man, but that doesn't mean it's everyone's favorite. That doesn't mean it's right for everyone's display. It just means that for me, when it comes to scaling and all that stuff, I'm a huge stickler. And the Maximum Spider-Man is the way to go for me. It's the one I want to see on my shelf when it comes to standing next to like Captain America, Iron Man, Wolverine, Deadpool, all them. I need Spider-Man to be smaller. He should not be head and shoulder with Cap. He should not be head and shoulder with Iron Man. And even so, Iron Man with his suit on is supposed to be like 6'4", 6'5", something like that, because, you know, he's got the armor. And the Iron Men that we have are slightly smaller, and I actually appreciate that. I don't think Iron Man should be towering over everybody, because Tony Stark is like 5'11", something like that. I don't know. I think that when it comes to a line like this, when you've had the amount of time that Marvel has had, or not Marvel, Hasbro has had, which is to say the better half of 20 years, not 20 years total, because it started with Toy Biz, but you know, the better half of the 20 years has been with Hasbro. And these are the kind of things that they should really be ironing out. So I see a lot of people complaining about the Spider-Man Gamerverse stuff. And it's valid because okay, here's the thing. The symbiote Spider-Man from Spider-Man 2, it's feeding time for the kitties. The symbiote Spider-Man from Spider-Man 2 is the right height. He's shorter, he's skinnier, he's lithe. And then you have the actual Gamerverse one on this body, the Renew Your Vows body, which is too big for Spider-Man. It's slightly too large. It is over 6 inches, which makes it too big. He should be 6 inches maximum, and slightly under 6 inches, ever so slightly. It just depends on if you're going with 6.5 or 6 inch scale. And at this point, Marvel Legends is 6.5 inch scale. So it's fine for Spider-Man to be like 6 inches tall, but he shouldn't be. Let's see. See, look, I'm not crazy. The maximum Spider-Man is just barely over 6 inches. Renew Your Vows, 6 1/4. Amazing Friends, under 6 inches. So teenage Spider-Man with this head sculpt, adult, fully grown Spider-Man, and then Flash Thompson as Spider-Man right there. But the Gamerverse ones, so the anti-venom suit that they used, I am 99.5% sure is on the Sunfire body, which is too big and not a great body for Spider-Man. Then you have the actual upgraded suit on the Renew Your Vows, which is too big, as I just showed y'all. And then the symbiote is shorter than both of them, has the right proportions, doesn't have butterfly joints, but as far as scaling, it's correct. And then you have people whining, which is not whining when it's valid that they're all different size, but they're like, oh, why is this one not, the symbiote's too small? And it's like, no, the symbiote's not too small. The other two are too big. And they also have no dedicated sculpt. The Sunfire and the Renew Your Vows, much like the Amazing Fantasy and the Maximum Spider-Man, are completely blank. All the applications on there are paint. There is no sculpted detail on those figures. So you should be like, oh man, why don't these other ones live up to the expectation of this Spider-Man 2 symbiote? And that's a good question. That's a good question for Hasbro. But what I'm saying here is that if you're just putting them on your shelf and you're happy with it, it's fine, whichever one. You can, the Pizza Spidey even, you can, I got rid of him finally, he's gone. I don't have one anymore because it's such an outdated body. I was so tired of seeing it. His leg was starting to warp. He's starting to get that old stanky leg. So I was like, you know what? It's time for him to go. And I don't think I'll ever get rid of this one because it's still a solid figure. This was my first Marvel Legends, not my first, this was like my second Marvel Legends Spider-Man, and it was so much better than the Pizza Spidey one because I had the retro card with Pizza Spidey with the, not all the alternate hands. So it was the retro card I won. And then I got this guy, and I was like, yo, so this is the perfect Spider-Man. And then I got the Renew Your Vows, and I was like, this is the perfect Spider-Man. And then I got into like really checking out the details and the scaling, and I've always known that Spider-Man is 5'10", and I was like, why is he almost the same height as Captain America? Why is he almost the same height as Iron Man? And that to me was wrong. So I started doing my research, and I'm like, okay, so we need the perfect Spider-Man. And then they announced the Amazing Fantasy one, and it was better, much better than Renew Your Vows, but people are like, oh, he's not defined enough, he's too short. And both of them valid, but at the time he was the best Spider-Man that we had. So I've done this video before, and I'm not saying that you should pay $50 for Maximum Spider-Man, but that's what you're going to get him for at retail. You're never going to find him for less than $50. I'm going to tell you that right now. Even used open boxed at this point, because they're all sold out, people haven't got them anymore. You're not going to get it for less than $50. So even if it's not worth it, if you really want the maximum Spider-Man, you're going to pay the $50, or you're going to have to go on eBay or Mercari or, you know, Facebook groups and find a deal that works for you. Or you can just be happy with your amazing friends, or you renew your vows. It doesn't really matter. I'm just pointing out, for me, that the $50 that I spent on this Spider-Man, not only is it the best Marvel Legends Spider-Man that we have with articulation and all that stuff, he comes with a lot of accessories. Should he have been $50? No. But for me, I needed that Spider-Man. And he even looks great next to Miles. Like, Miles should be shorter. Miles is a kid. I know he's older in the comic books now, but for me, if you want to have another Spider-Man running around, make him that younger teenage Spider-Man again with Miles. So, actually, you know what? Because he works with either of those ones. You can put him, if you put him next to Renew Your Vows, he kind of gets dwarfed as far as proportions and size and all that stuff. So even the height, but just like proportion-wise, Spider-Man looks too beefy next to Miles right there. So, you know, just some observations. I can't believe I'm rambling for over 15 minutes about this, and I'm also live at this point, but it's members only, which I did that intentionally because it's an experiment. I wanted to see, and we had a couple people show up, but it's all good. It is all good. So yeah, if you guys like this video, go ahead and smash like, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, become a channel member so that when I do more videos while live streaming, y'all don't miss it. I will probably go live normal after I finish recording this. Just this was just an experiment. It's taken me 20 minutes to do this video, which is pretty good. I can ramble on for a long time. I don't know if y'all knew this. My card seems to be working now as far as the memory capture, so that was annoying when I started. But yeah, if you guys, like I said, like, subscribe if you're not subscribed, become a channel member if you want to, so you can see members only live streams and all that stuff, and members only content, and then members first for early reviews for new stuff. So, you know, there's benefits. And then, of course, comment, let me know if you agree, disagree, what your favorite Spider-Man is, how your day is going. Just say hiya, howdy, hello. If you're protesting, please be safe. Keep your head up, stay brave, be kind to your local LGBTQ community. I love you. I will see you next time, and bye-bye.
Just wait 1 minute. I'm watching this new Rowdy Rouse video and it's really awesome. I don't want to miss it.
It's like this chick that reviews action figures and it's really freaking cool.
Yes, I think they saw some videos and there's some really good contents out there, you know?
She reviews these ponies and stuff because you knows I love ponies.
She doesn't review ponies. It's freaking cool stuff, Toki.